Yeah, there's a degree of happiness which is intrinsic, which is actually something that most men, I don't believe, have experienced, because it comes with true success. People always talk about fuck you money, right? It's not just about saying fuck you. It's about truly being able to express how you feel. And that comes with success. And I don't mean success financially. I mean success in all realms. Most men can't raise their voice. They can't raise their voice at their job. They'll get fired. They can't raise their voice in their house. The woman's be like, who the fuck you yelling at? They can't raise their voice at anyone. They're not allowed to be angry and someone to give a shit, right? There's something amazing about living with true intention and just being happy when you're happy, being mad when you're mad, and people caring. If we get mad, people are like, shit, he's mad. You know, you know what I'm saying? Imagine being a full-grown man and being furious and going, better shut up.
Yeah, bro, this 115-pound woman might leave.
You know what I'm saying? So
anymore?
Yeah, absolutely. You can't go back from that. Once you can live with true intention and like a true heart, it's a beautiful thing. And most men, especially, you suppress yourself. You don't live that way. You're not allowed to. Society doesn't want to. Your circumstances don't allow you. And that's something, once you've gone to, you can't go back to. I'm allowed to be miserable if I decide to be. You understand? It's a beautiful thing.
And that's why I used to get mad, because I never believed that those men were living a life they wanted to live. They simply would choose to suppress themselves into believing the bullshit. And for that reason, I would hold my breath.
No, you nailed it. And that's where it comes with a degree of success. And when you're talking about what you couldn't live without, one of the greatest things about being rich is not having money. It's just about being able to say, you know what? I could make $1 million if I worked with that person, but I don't like that person. Oh, that person's a big podcaster. I don't like them. Oh, but Andrew, he could put you on. I don't need money. I don't like you. It's just like, fuck you. Like, I don't need you. Like, it's being true to yourself and true to your intent. And once you're true to your intent, I also believe, if we're going to get spiritual, I believe you get closer to God. I believe you become a better person. You're a better person when you don't go through life lying. Most men are going through life putting on a face they don't want to put on, saying things they don't want to say, repeating things they don't believe. And we all know that lies are a sin, gentlemen. And you are lying to yourself and everyone around you. People will come here and say, oh, Andrew's full of shit, Andrew's arrogant, whatever. I live with true intent. If I tell you I like you, I like you. If you come up to me on the street and I'm like, oh, hey, G, I wish the best for you. I wish the absolute best for you. If I dislike you and I'll punch you in the face, I meant it. I live with complete true intent. I have a pure heart. And I believe that's more important. And that's something that's so valuable. Most men don't even know how that feels.
And call your friends out on this, because the mask will slip. The mask will slip occasionally. How many of you, 8,000 people watching, I refuse to believe that some of you aren't sitting drinking with your friends sometimes, and your friends are sitting there like, oh man, I hate my wife. I don't want to go home tonight. So awesome. Fucking tell your wife what she's doing wrong. Call him out. Tell him to fucking man up and say his opinion, because the mask slips off all of these people. It really does. And you see it. I've seen it in hundreds of men myself.
Everyone's out to get us. Bro.
Everyone, they're all out to get us.
Why are they out to get us? Why? Why does the Matrix hate us so much? Because we free minds.
It's because, you know what? It's because we live the way that no one else can and no one else does.
No one else has the balls.
No one else has the balls.
People with our money is like busy hiding.
Yeah.
Ooh, hide behind my gate with my bodyguard.
And and that's part of the reason why the Romanian media, a lot of people have been talking shit about us. Like, people, let me tell you something. People who run newspapers are successful. University educated person. Oh, I own this newspaper. I'm a successful dude, blah, blah, blah. They've, gone to school, set up their little business. All these people who hate us are, quote unquote, successful people. And to us, they're broke. They're like, what are these guys doing? They must be doing something wrong. Let's talk shit about them and say that they're criminals and kidnappers, because they must be. How the fuck do they have a $5 million brigade? It's because I know Aikido. Yeah, they spent no time learning Aikido, and they don't understand why they're still poor.
That's right, the breakfast.
Don't hate me.
You have to learn Aikido.
Yeah.
I talked about this in another one of my very interesting videos, which I'd actually like to play. It's a Tate speech about unlocking your mind. I'm going to tell you all a mind trick, and I want you to pay attention, because this might be the most important video you ever watch in your life. What I want you to do from now on is try and remember your last thought before you go to sleep. Now, when you do this, it's going to turn your brain on and wake your brain up, and then you're going to struggle to sleep. So don't do that. It's going to take a little bit of practice. It's going to take about a week or so, where you learn to be zen and fall asleep and allow your mind to fall asleep while remembering what you're thinking about and categorizing them. And the point is that when you wake up the next day, you should be able to tell people what the last thought you had was before you went to sleep. because you've never probably thought about this. You're not aware of this. But your mind is drifting in all different kinds of directions before you fall asleep. You're thinking of this, you're thinking of that, thinking of that bitch, thinking of that memory, X, Y, Z. And you don't remember the last thought that you had before you finally lost consciousness. But once you've trained your mind to remember it, something very interesting happens. And what happens is, when you remember your last thought before you went to sleep, you start to remember all of your dreams and all of your thoughts you have when you are asleep. Because you only live in the present. You only live in right now. Everything you've ever experienced in your life is remembered. And you remember all of your experiences from reality the same way you remember your dreams from your unconscious. You remember them the same. It's the same imagination. So when you begin to remember your last thought before you went to sleep, and you begin to remember every single unconscious thought you ever had, what becomes very interesting, thank you very much, thank you. What becomes very interesting from there is you get a lot more control over your subconscious mind and over your dreams. You get the ability to affect your dreams with your mind. You become a lucid dreamer like I am. I can't have a nightmare because if I start to dream of something which is less than perfect, in my dream, I just click my fingers or do some Aikido and change it. If my plane starts to crash, in my dream, I click my fingers and I have a parachute. I control my dreams. I control my mind absolutely. Now, what's really interesting is this. If you remember your entire life, your awake, your conscious experiences, the life you've lived that you remember is all inside of your mind as memories. But if you start to remember all of your dreams without fail, and these are dreams that you can affect in real time, you now get to remember and have a catalog in your mind of an entire life as a superhero. I have lived an entire life in my subconscious while I was asleep as a superhuman. I have all of the memories. I have years of memories of living a life in which I could fly. Call me crazy. I know you're sitting here. Some of you will not understand what I'm talking about. Some of you will understand what I'm talking about. But the point is that my mind has two lives in it. I have my conscious life and my unconscious life. I've lived both. I remember them the same. I have trained my mind to do this. So in my living years, in my human experience, I've lived twice as long as you have. This is why I know twice as much as you know. I've lived more life. And I've lived more life inside of my mind because my mind has been trained. Do you understand?